Immerse yourself in the captivating narratives of ancient Egypt. Discover the secrets of the Great Pyramids and delve into the mysteries of the pharaohs. Unlock the puzzle of this eternal civilization. Keep watching. Have you ever wondered how the ancient Egyptian empire, one of the world's oldest and longest-lasting civilizations, came into existence? The origins of the ancient Egyptian empire are shrouded in mystery, enigma, and allure. This civilization, which dates back thousands of years, was uniquely nestled in the fertile Nile Valley. The river's life-giving waters and fertile banks played a pivotal role in the formation of this grand empire. In the vast expanse of arid desert, the Nile was a beacon of life, an oasis, if you will. This river, the longest in the world, was the lifeblood of the burgeoning Egyptian civilization. It provided water for irrigation, a means of transportation, and an abundant supply of fish. It's no wonder then that the Egyptians revered the Nile as a god, a divine entity that bestowed life and prosperity upon them. But it wasn't just the river that shaped this civilization. The Egyptian empire was also a product of its time. Historians believe that this empire began to take shape around the year 3100 BC. This was a time when the world was still young and human civilization was in its infancy. The formation of the Egyptian empire marks a significant milestone in human history. It represents a shift from small, scattered communities to a unified, centralized state. This was a time when hieroglyphs were being carved into stone, when the foundations of what would become one of the world's most famous architectural marvels, the pyramids, were being laid. The mysterious beginnings of the ancient Egyptian empire, its location in the Nile Valley, and the time period around 3100 BC, all contribute to the enigma that surrounds this civilization. And this enigma is part of what makes the Egyptian empire so fascinating, so compelling, and so enduring in our collective consciousness. So the stage is set, the Nile Valley, around 3100 BC. But what sparked the rise of this grand empire? Let's delve deeper into this captivating tale in the next scene. The birth of the Egyptian empire is a tale of unity and leadership. The story begins with a land divided, Upper and Lower Egypt, each with its own kings and kingdoms. However, the course of history was about to take a dramatic turn. Emerging from the south, a leader with vision and ambition ascended, King Narmer. He was not satisfied with ruling just a part of Egypt. He desired to unite the entire land under one banner. His vision was clear and his determination unwavering. Through a series of strategic alliances and decisive battles, King Narmer succeeded in his mission. He unified Upper and Lower Egypt under his rule, marking the start of the Old Kingdom period. This unification was not just a political event, it was the birth of a civilization, a fusion of two distinct cultures, languages, and ways of life. One might wonder, why is this event so significant? Well, the unification under one ruler led to the establishment of a centralized government and administration. It created a singular identity, a shared sense of belonging amongst the people. This identity and unity were instrumental in the development of a complex society, leading to advancements in technology, art, and culture. Leadership played a pivotal role in the empire's formation. King Narmer was not just a conqueror, he was a visionary. He laid down the foundations of a civilization that would endure for over 3,000 years. He introduced the concept of pharaoh, a divine ruler, a god on earth, setting a precedent for all future Egyptian kings. The unification of Egypt was also a testament to the power of unity. It highlighted how, when united, a civilization can achieve greatness, can evolve and prosper. This unity was the cradle of the Egyptian civilization, nurturing it and guiding it towards a path of progress and prosperity. With Upper and Lower Egypt unified under a single ruler, the stage was set for an era of growth and prosperity. This was the birth of a civilization that would leave an indelible mark on the pages of history. The Old Kingdom, often referred to as the Age of Pyramids, marked a period of remarkable architectural advancements. This was a golden era where the ancient Egyptians began to express their ingenuity and creativity in grand and magnificent ways. In the heart of this era, the construction of the pyramids took center stage. showcasing not only the Egyptians' architectural prowess, but also their understanding of astronomy, geometry, and their deep-rooted belief in the afterlife. The pyramids were more than just tombs for the pharaohs. They were stairways to eternity, a reflection of the divine connection between the earthly realm and the celestial sphere. Now let's talk about the masterminds behind these architectural marvels. One cannot mention the age of pyramids without acknowledging the role of Pharaoh Djose. His step pyramid at Saqqara was the first colossal stone building and the first pyramid ever erected in Egypt. Imhotep, Djose's architect, introduced the use of hewn stone for the construction, marking a significant shift from mud brick structures. But the Old Kingdom's architectural zenith was reached under the rule of Pharaoh Khufu. His Great Pyramid at Giza, one of the seven wonders of the ancient world, still stands today, a silent witness to the grandeur of a bygone era. The precision, scale, and complexity involved in its construction continue to baffle modern engineers and archaeologists. Comprising over 2 million blocks of stone, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons, the Great Pyramid is a testament to the meticulous planning, resource management, and the tireless labor of thousands of workers over 2 decades. The Old Kingdom was more than just an age of pyramids. It was an era of architectural innovation, societal organization, and cultural development. The Egyptians' unyielding belief in the afterlife and the divine guided their actions, leading to the creation of these awe-inspiring structures. The pyramids, a testament to their architectural prowess, would become emblematic of the ancient Egyptian empire. After a period of chaos and disarray, the Middle Kingdom marked a return to stability and glory. This era, beginning around 2050 BC, saw the reunification of Egypt under the rule of Mentuhotep II. It was a time of renaissance, a rebirth of the cultural and artistic prowess that had defined the Egyptian civilization in its earlier days. Mentuhotep II, a ruler with a vision, managed to bring together the disparate factions that had torn the empire apart. His reign marked not just a return to political stability, but also a resurgence in the arts and culture that had once flourished. He became the harbinger of a new dawn, a time when Egypt once again shone brightly on the world stage. The Middle Kingdom was not just about political reunification, it represented a cultural revival, a time when art, literature, and architecture experienced a renaissance. The period saw the creation of some of the most exquisite pieces of Egyptian art, marked by a subtlety of expression and a finesse that was a departure from the grandeur of the Old Kingdom. Literature too flourished during this period, with the creation of many works that are considered classics of ancient Egyptian literature. The Tale of Sinuhe, a work of high literary merit, dates back to this period, providing us with valuable insights into the life and thoughts of the people of that time. Architecturally, this era saw the construction of many monumental structures, including the Grand Temple at Karnak. The architectural style of this period was marked by a combination of grandeur and subtlety, reflecting the nuanced cultural ethos of the time. The Middle Kingdom was a period of cultural renaissance, a time when Egypt regained its former glory. It was a time when the Egyptian empire, after weathering a period of chaos and disarray, rose once again to claim its place as a beacon of culture and sophistication. The legacy of the Middle Kingdom continues to inspire us, a testament to the indomitable spirit of the Egyptian civilization. The New Kingdom, often dubbed the Golden Age, saw the Egyptian empire reach its zenith. This was a time when the empire's influence and power were truly unrivaled. Let's delve into this fascinating epoch of ancient Egyptian history. The New Kingdom was an era marked by expansive conquests and territorial gains. One of the most renowned pharaohs of this period, Thutmose III, often referred to as the Egyptian Napoleon, led numerous military campaigns, extending the empire's boundaries as far as modern Syria and Sudan. His reign marked a period of unprecedented territorial expansion, bolstering the empire's wealth and influence. Another key figure of the New Kingdom was the formidable Ramses II. His long reign of 66 years was marked by an era of construction like no other. Magnificent cities, temples, and monuments sprung up across the empire, showcasing the wealth and power of the Egyptian civilization. The city of Pi-Ramses, his capital, stood as a testament to his grandeur, its splendor rivaling that of any city in the known world. The New Kingdom was not just about military conquests or architectural marvels, it was also a time of immense wealth and prosperity. The empire's coffers overflowed with gold, precious stones, and exotic goods from the far corners of the known world, Trade flourished and Egypt became the hub of the ancient world's economy. However, the empire's might was not solely due to its wealth or expansive territories. It was the culmination of a culture that valued knowledge, art, and spirituality. The New Kingdom saw a renaissance in literature, art, and religious thought, contributing to an enriched cultural landscape that still captivates us today. The New Kingdom was the pinnacle of Egyptian power, a period of military might and unparalleled prosperity. This golden age saw the empire reach its utmost glory, leaving a legacy that continues to resonate through the millennia. How did a civilization with no modern technology construct some of the most magnificent and enduring structures on Earth? This question has puzzled historians, archaeologists, and curious minds alike for centuries. The pyramids of Egypt, these grand monuments of antiquity, stand as a testament to an ancient civilization's ingenuity and tenacity. The pyramids' enigma lies not just in their sheer size and precision, but in the mystery of their construction. How did the Egyptians, with rudimentary tools and a lack of advanced machinery, manage to build structures that have stood the test of time? Theories abound, from the plausible to the downright fantastical. Some believe in the simple explanation of sheer human effort and ingenuity. Thousands of workers laboring under the hot Egyptian sun, hauling massive limestone blocks and carefully placing them with a precision that is awe-inspiring even today. This theory speaks to the Egyptians' incredible organizational skills, their understanding of geometry, and their unyielding determination. Then there are the more unconventional theories. Some propose the involvement of extraterrestrial beings, arguing that such grandeur and precision could not possibly be the work of mere mortals. Others suggest the use of lost technologies, hinting at a past far more advanced than we give it credit for. The fascination with these ancient wonders is universal. They have inspired countless tales and legends, sparked numerous expeditions, and continue to be a source of intrigue and speculation. Yet despite all the theories and investigations, the true method of their construction remains shrouded in mystery. These colossal structures were not merely tombs for the pharaohs, but symbols of their divine power and connections to the gods. They were a statement to the world and to the heavens, a testament to the might and grandeur of a civilization that flourished thousands of years ago. So, let's journey back in time to explore the birth of these architectural marvels. Let's delve into the heart of the desert, into the heart of mystery itself, and seek the truth behind one of humanity's greatest enigmas. Our journey begins around 2700 BC with the construction of the Step Pyramid. In the shadowy corridors of history, a revolutionary shift in funeral architecture began under the reign of Pharaoh Djoser. The man behind this change was none other than Imhotep, a polymath who held titles such as high priest, architect, and physician. Yet it was his architectural prowess that left an indelible mark on the sands of time. Imhotep, the architect of eternity, was the mastermind behind the Step Pyramid, the first colossal stone building and the earliest colossal stone sculpture. This structure stood as a testament to the ingenuity of ancient Egyptian engineering, a beacon that heralded a new era. Before the construction of the Step Pyramid, the kings of Egypt were buried in rectangular, flat-roofed tombs known as mastabas. These structures, made of mud brick and then later of stone, were a far cry from the grandeur of the pyramid, yet they provided the foundation upon which the pyramid was built. Pharaoh Djoser's Step Pyramid started as a traditional mastaba. However, Imhotep had a vision that was far from traditional. He decided to place one mastaba on top of another, each one smaller than the one below it, creating a stepped effect. This design, innovative and bold, transformed the mastaba into a structure of 6 tiers, 4 sides, and a staggering height of 62 meters. But the Step Pyramid was more than just an architectural marvel. It was a religious monument, a stairway to the heavens, a place where the pharaoh could ascend to join the gods after death. This belief, deeply rooted in the ancient Egyptian ethos, drove the evolution from mastaba to Step Pyramid, and eventually to the true pyramid. The completion of the Step Pyramid was not just an accomplishment for Pharaoh Djoser and Imhotep. It was a turning point in architectural history. The Egyptians had discovered a new way to honor their kings, to immortalize their names, and to express their religious belief. The The completion of the step pyramid marked the dawn of an era of pyramid construction in Egypt. Fast forward to the 4th dynasty, a time when the most iconic Egyptian pyramids were built. Picture the sun rising over the sands of Giza, casting long shadows over the birth of a new era. This was the age of the Great Pyramids, structures so colossal that they dwarfed all human achievements of the day. They were constructed for 3 pharaohs, Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure, each pyramid serving as an eternal resting place for these mighty rulers. The largest of them all, the Great Pyramid of Giza, was built for Pharaoh Khufu. Standing at a staggering 481 feet tall, it was the tallest man-made structure in the world for over 3,800 years. It's estimated that over 2.3 million blocks of stone, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons, were used in its construction. Next in line is the Pyramid of Khafre, slightly smaller than Khufu's, but appearing taller due to being built on higher ground. It is uniquely recognized by the large Sphinx statue that guards its entrance, an iconic symbol of ancient Egypt. The smallest of the 3, the Pyramid of Menkaure, is no less impressive. Despite its size, the attention to detail and the quality of its craftsmanship speak volumes of the meticulous efforts put into its construction. These monumental structures were not built overnight. It took thousands of laborers working year-round for 2 decades to complete a single pyramid. They were not slaves but paid workers, a labor force motivated by a deep sense of national pride and religious duty. The resources used were equally staggering. From the tons of limestone quarried from nearby hills to the imported granite from Aswan, the logistics of these operations were mind-boggling. Furthermore, the precise alignment of these pyramids to the cardinal points of the compass signifies a deep understanding of astronomy. The Great Pyramids stand as a testament to the architectural prowess and organizational skills of the ancient Egyptians. Their scale, precision, and enduring presence continue to captivate us, reminding us of the extraordinary capabilities of our ancestors. As all good things come to an end, so did the era of pyramid building in Egypt. The decline in pyramid building was not sudden, rather it was a gradual process. Several factors contributed to this decline. One of the primary reasons was economic in nature. The construction of these magnificent structures required a significant amount of resources. Labor, materials, and time were all heavily invested. And as the Egyptian empire encountered economic challenges, it became increasingly difficult to maintain such grand projects. Changes in religious beliefs also played a crucial role in the decline of pyramid building. During the Middle Kingdom period, there was a shift in the focus of religious devotion. The pharaohs were no longer seen as god-kings in the way they were during the age of the Great Pyramids. Rather, they were viewed more as stewards of the god's will on earth. As such, these grand tombs became less of a priority. In addition to these factors, the shift towards less conspicuous tombs was also a significant factor. The Grand Pyramids were not only symbols of power and religious devotion, but they were also a beacon for tomb raiders. The wealth buried with the pharaohs was a tempting target, and despite the best efforts of the Egyptian people, many of these tombs were plundered. As a result, there was a move towards more hidden and secure tombs such as those found in the Valley of the Kings. Finally, it's worth noting that the knowledge and techniques used in pyramid construction also slowly faded away. With each passing generation, less emphasis was placed on this ancient craft, and the secrets of the pyramids were gradually lost to time. Despite their decline, the pyramids have endured, captivating the minds of people for millennia. Their towering presence stands as a testament to a civilization that, while long gone, continues to fascinate us with its grandeur, complexity, and mystery. So, how did the Egyptians construct these awe-inspiring structures without modern technology? It's a question that has propelled countless explorations and studies, and one that has fueled our imaginations for centuries. Over the course of this video, we have navigated the enigmatic world of the ancient Egyptians, delving into the dawn of pyramid construction. We've learned that these monumental structures were not conceived overnight. Instead, they evolved from simple mastabas into the step pyramids, and ultimately the true pyramids we recognize today. We journeyed through the age of the Great Pyramids, a period that gave us iconic structures such as the Great Pyramid of Giza, a testament to the architectural genius and meticulous planning of the ancient Egyptians. Standing tall at 481 feet, this colossal structure was the tallest man-made structure in the world, for over 3,800 years. We also witnessed the decline and end of pyramid building. As political power shifted and religious beliefs evolved, the grand pyramids of old gave way to less extravagant, but no less significant, tombs and burial sites. Throughout this journey, what is truly remarkable is the ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians. Without the aid of modern technology, they harnessed basic tools and sheer manpower to create structures that have withstood the test of time. They developed complex mathematical and architectural techniques, demonstrating a level of sophistication far beyond their time. The enduring fascination with the pyramids is a testament to their mysterious allure. Despite centuries of study and exploration, they continue to hold secrets and provoke questions. They are more than just tombs for pharaohs. They are symbols of human tenacity, ambition, and the compelling drive to achieve the impossible. While we may never fully understand how these monumental structures were built, the pyramids remain a testament to the ingenuity and determination of a civilization that flourished thousands of years ago. As we move forward, let's carry with us the spirit of curiosity and the thirst for knowledge that the pyramids inspire in us all.
Have you ever wondered about the origins of written communication? Journey into the annals of history takes us back some 5,000 years to a time when the mighty pyramids were yet to grace the horizon of the Egyptian desert. It was around the year 3200 BC, in the heart of ancient Egypt, that the earliest form of complex writing, hieroglyphics, was born. Hieroglyphics, from the Greek words hieros meaning sacred and glyphein meaning to carve, was not just a method of jotting down words, but a complex integration of logographic, syllabic, and alphabetic elements. In simpler terms, each hieroglyph could represent a word, a sound, or even a concept. This multifaceted writing system was a true marvel of ancient intellect. Picture this: walking into an ancient Egyptian temple, you'd be greeted by walls adorned with intricate carvings. You'd see a multitude of symbols, animals, people, objects, and abstract shapes. Each one of these symbols, known as a hieroglyph, held a unique meaning. Some represented the sounds of the Egyptian language, like our modern alphabets, while others were logograms representing words or phrases. But hieroglyphics was more than a mere form of communication. It was a testament to the Egyptians' love for art and aesthetics. Each hieroglyph was painstakingly crafted, with a precision that speaks volumes about their artistic prowess. System was not just for the mundane day-to-day communications, it was reserved for the sacred. Hieroglyphics were used primarily by the priests, the pharaohs, and the elite to record religious texts, royal decrees, and monumental inscriptions. Sheer complexity and versatility of this system make it a fascinating subject of study. Understanding hieroglyphics is akin to unlocking the psyche of an ancient civilization, gaining insights into their beliefs, their culture, and their way of life. The intriguing world of hieroglyphics was not just about writing, but a sophisticated blend of art and communication. But how did this intricate system change over time? Let's embark on a voyage through the sands of time to unravel this transformation. From its early foundations, this writing system was unlike any other. It was an artistic expression, a method to communicate complex thoughts and ideas through a series of meticulously designed symbols. The earliest of these symbols were simple and straightforward, utilized as a way of record-keeping, documenting the wealth and resources of the ruling class. Transitioning into the Old Kingdom period, the symbolic language began to exhibit a more complex form. This was no longer merely a tool for information recording, but became an instrument for expressing abstract concepts, religious beliefs, and the philosophy of life and death. The symbols turned more intricate and detailed, reflecting the escalating complexity of the society and culture they symbolized. In the Middle Kingdom, we witnessed the incorporation of new symbols and variations in the usage of the existing ones. This era witnessed the emergence of literature and hence an expansion in the use of this pictorial language. It was employed to inscribe tales of heroism, adventure, and divine exploits, engraving these narratives into the annals of history. The New Kingdom period signified the peak of this symbolic language development. The symbols were now extremely stylized, echoing the magnificence and luxury of that era. They were extensively used in monumental inscriptions and religious texts, testifying to the divine right of the pharaohs. But the transformation of symbolic language didn't halt there. Even as the pharaoh's power diminished, this pictorial language persisted in its transformation, adjusting to the societal and cultural shifts. New symbols were integrated, old ones were altered, and the writing system became more versatile, capable of conveying a broader spectrum of thoughts and ideas. This pictorial language was not static but transformed over time, reflecting the dynamism of ancient Egyptian society. But how were these cryptic symbols deciphered, you might ask? The answer lies in a remarkable discovery that happened more than 2,000 years after the fall of the ancient Egyptian civilization. The discovery of the Rosetta Stone. Rosetta Stone, discovered in 1799 during Napoleon Bonaparte's Egyptian campaign, was the key that unlocked the mysteries of the hieroglyphs. This slab of granodiorite, inscribed with 3 versions of a decree issued in Memphis, Egypt in 196 BC, was written in 2 languages, Greek and Egyptian. But what made it more unique was that it was inscribed in 3 scripts, Greek, Demotic, and hieroglyphic. The same text written in 3 scripts, with Greek being the only one known at that time. This was the breakthrough. The task of deciphering the hieroglyphs fell to a brilliant Frenchman, Jean-François Champollion. A gifted linguist, Champollion had taught himself to read a dozen languages by the time he was 16. When he came across the Rosetta Stone, he was determined to crack the code. Champollion's approach was methodical. He began by identifying the hieroglyphs that represented royal names, isolated within oval borders called cartouches. He noticed that these symbols corresponded with the phonetic sounds of the Greek version. This was a revolutionary idea. Hieroglyphs were not just symbolic, but phonetic as well. His painstaking efforts, Champollion was able to match the sounds of the ancient Egyptian language with the symbols of the hieroglyphs. He had cracked the code. The world of ancient Egypt, its history, its culture, its religion, all were revealed through the language that had been silent for over 1,000 years. Rosetta Stone, therefore, was a crucial piece in the puzzle of understanding the rich tapestry of ancient Egyptian civilization. The enigma of the hieroglyphs was no longer a mystery. The voices of the pharaohs could be heard once more, echoing down the corridors of time. And we owe it all to the Rosetta Stone and the relentless determination of one man, Jean-François Champollion. But what was the medium for these intricate hieroglyphics, you may ask? The answer lies in the heart of the ancient Egyptian civilization: papyrus. This was more than just a plant to the Egyptians. It was the canvas for their stories, their knowledge, their history. The process of making papyrus was an art form in itself, a testament to the ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians. The papyrus plant, a tall, aquatic perennial, was harvested along the banks of the Nile. The outer rind was removed and the inner pith was cut into thin strips. These strips were then soaked in water, beaten flat, and arranged in 2 layers at right angles. The mat was then hammered and dried under pressure to create a smooth, durable surface. Papyrus was not the first writing material known to mankind. Clay tablets and animal skins had been used in other civilizations. However, papyrus offered a lightweight, portable, and relatively durable medium that was ideal for the dry climate of Egypt. This made it the primary writing material in ancient Egypt, a status it maintained for over 3,000 years. The rise of papyrus as a writing material coincided with the flourishing of hieroglyphic writing. The durable nature of papyrus allowed these written records to survive for millennia, giving us invaluable insights into the lives, beliefs, and knowledge of the ancient Egyptians. Hieroglyphics were not just used for monumental inscriptions on stone, but were also extensively written on papyrus scrolls. The importance of papyrus extended beyond Egypt. It was exported to other civilizations around the Mediterranean and beyond, facilitating the spread of Egyptian culture and knowledge. It also influenced the development of other writing materials such as parchment and eventually paper. But perhaps the most profound impact of papyrus was its role in preserving the hieroglyphics. Without it, much of the knowledge we have about this ancient script and the civilization that created it would have been lost. Papyrus thus played a pivotal role in the preservation and propagation of hieroglyphics and the rich cultural heritage of ancient Egypt. So what can we conclude about hieroglyphics and papyrus? We've journeyed through the sands of time, tracing the origins and evolution of hieroglyphics. These pictorial scripts were not just decorative elements gracing the walls of majestic pyramids and temples. They were a complex system of communication, a language that held the keys to the thoughts, beliefs, and daily life of the ancient Egyptians. Saw how hieroglyphics evolved from simple pictorial representations to more abstract forms, reflecting the dynamic nature of language and culture. This evolution was not a linear path, but a rich tapestry woven with threads of innovation, adaptation, and continuity. We delved into the intriguing process of deciphering these enigmatic symbols. The Rosetta Stone, an unassuming slab of black basalt, played a crucial role in this linguistic detective story. The trilingual inscription on the stone, featuring Greek, Demotic, and hieroglyphic scripts, served as a Rosetta Stone in the truest sense. It unlocked the door to an ancient world that had remained silent for over a millennium. And let's not forget papyrus, the humble reed that revolutionized communication. Papyrus was not merely a writing material, it was a medium that enabled the preservation and transmission of knowledge, culture, and power. The use of papyrus marked a significant shift in the way information was recorded and shared, paving the way for the literary and administrative advancements of the ancient Egyptian civilization. The story of hieroglyphics and papyrus is a testament to the ingenuity and creativity of the human spirit. It is about our ceaseless quest to express ourselves, to understand and be understood, to remember and be remembered. And papyrus therefore provide a fascinating window into the world of ancient Egypt, shedding light on a civilization that continues to captivate us with its mystery and grandeur.
Oh, what if I told you that the ancient Egyptians' belief in the afterlife shaped much of their society and culture? Yes, indeed. In the cradle of civilization, the ancient Egyptians were among the earliest societies to develop complex religious beliefs. They revered a pantheon of deities, but central to their spiritual understanding was the concept of the afterlife. This belief was not just a vague hope for something beyond death, it was a tangible part of their everyday life, a guiding force that shaped their culture, their art, and their very identity. Their understanding of life, death, and what lies beyond was encapsulated in the concept of Ka, often translated as the soul. The Ka was believed to be a spiritual double-born with every man and woman. It was this Ka that journeyed into the afterlife following the cessation of earthly life. However, the journey of the Ka was not an easy one. It was believed to require sustenance, just as the physical body did during its earthly existence. This belief led to the practice of burying the dead with provisions, food, drink, and personal belongings, to nourish the Ka on its journey. It wasn't uncommon for servants to be interred with their masters to serve them in the afterlife. This practice wasn't a morbid fixation on death, but rather a deep-seated respect for the continuity of life. It was a testament to their belief in the eternal nature of the soul and the cyclical nature of existence. The ancient Egyptians in the afterlife was not just about personal survival beyond death, it was a reflection of their understanding of the world, their place in it, and the eternal cycle of life and death. This unique worldview, with its emphasis on the afterlife, laid the groundwork for the complex religious system that would evolve in the centuries to come. This early focus on the afterlife set the foundation for the complex religion that would evolve over the centuries. As the society grew, so did the pantheon of deities they worshipped. The ancient Egyptians, much like numerous cultures from the same era, were polytheistic, a term that denotes their faith in multiple gods. Each deity wielded power over various aspects of the natural world and human existence, with each having a distinct narrative and symbol set related to them. Among the most venerated were Ra, the sun deity, and Osiris, the ruler of the underworld. Ra was considered the king of all deities and the protector of the pharaoh. Every morning he was thought to be reborn and rise in the east, shedding light and warmth onto the earth. As the day progressed, Ra was perceived to age and eventually decline into the underworld at sundown, only to be reborn the next morning. On the contrary, Osiris ruled the underworld and the realm of the deceased. He symbolized resurrection and everlasting life, with his tail being a fundamental element of ancient Egyptian mythology. Osiris was assassinated by his brother Set and later resurrected by his wife Isis, establishing him as the deity of the afterlife, rebirth, and regeneration. Often these deities were associated with natural elements and phenomena. For instance, Ra was symbolized by the sun, while Osiris was connected with the fertile soil and the vegetation that sprung up following the yearly flooding. This link between the deities and the natural world was not coincidental. The Egyptians viewed their deities not just as abstract figures, but as key forces that shaped and influenced the natural world. Whether it was the sun rising in the morning, the flooding of the banks of the Nile, or the crops sprouting in the fields, the Egyptians saw the influence of the deities in every aspect of their daily lives. This belief shaped their comprehension of the world and their role in it. These deities were not merely distant figures, but a part of daily life, impacting everything from the sunrise to the flooding of the Nile. The gods of Egypt were not distant figures, they required devotion and rituals. As the pantheon of the Nile expanded, so too did the need for sacred spaces where the divine could be honored. This led to the rise of magnificent structures that served as earthly dwellings for the gods, but these were more than just grand buildings. They were microcosms of the universe where the terrestrial met the celestial. Each structure was designed with precise alignments to the stars and to the cardinal directions, symbolizing the order and harmony that the Egyptians believed governed the cosmos. Within these sacred spaces, priests played a crucial role. They were the intermediaries between the gods and the people, tasked with maintaining the divine order. Each day performed complex rituals to sustain the gods, which involved cleansing, clothing, and feeding the deity's statue. They believed that through these rituals, they could ensure the gods' favor and protection. But the of Egypt didn't only reside in these structures, they were believed to be present everywhere and in everything. This omnipresence led to a culture steeped in ritual and symbolism. The Egyptians believed that the gods could intervene in human affairs. Thus, they made offerings in hopes of winning their favor or protection. These offerings ranged from simple food items to elaborate works of art, and it was thought that the more valuable the offering, the more likely the god was to grant the request. These places were also centers of community and culture. They were places of learning where scribes and scholars studied the mysteries of the universe. They were also centers of economic activity, as the structures owned vast tracts of land and employed thousands of people. It's clear that these structures of ancient Egypt were more than just houses of worship. They were the beating heart of their civilization, reflecting the Egyptians' intricate relationship with the divine and their unwavering belief in the gods' influence over their daily. They were not just houses of worship, but centers of community and culture. In a period of religious upheaval, one pharaoh dared to challenge the traditional beliefs. Pharaoh Akhenaten, a ruler who in the 14th century BCE dared to deviate from the centuries-old religious practices of his ancestors. His reign marked a dramatic and unprecedented shift in the religious landscape of ancient Egypt. You see, Akhenaten had a vision of monotheism, of worshipping a single deity, the sun disk Aten. Akhenaten was so taken by this sun deity that he not only introduced the worship of Aten, but also attempted to make it the sole religion of Egypt. He went as far as changing his own name from Amenhotep IV to Akhenaten, meaning effective for Aten. He even built a new capital city, Akhetaten, now known as Amarna, dedicated solely to this newfound deity. But Akhenaten's religious revolution was met with resistance. The priests of the old gods, particularly of the powerful god Amun, were not ready to relinquish their influence and status. The common people too found it challenging to let go of the gods they had worshipped for generations. The ambitious pharaoh's reign lasted for 17 years. However, after his death, Egypt quickly returned to its traditional polytheistic beliefs. The temples Akhenaten had built for Aten were dismantled. His city, Akhetaten, was abandoned. His name was even erased from the king lists, in an attempt to wipe out his memory and his religious revolution. Yet, Akhenaten's audacious attempt to change the religious landscape of Egypt was not entirely in vain. His reign triggered a period of introspection and change, influencing the theological, artistic, and cultural aspects of Egyptian society. It served as a reminder that even the most deeply entrenched beliefs can be questioned, and that change, while often resisted, is an integral part of human history. Despite his efforts, Akhenaten's religious revolution was short-lived, but it left a lasting impact on Egyptian society. The ancient Egyptian civilization may have faded, but their beliefs continue to captivate us. The allure of ancient Egypt is undeniable. Its mystique is intricately tied to its religious beliefs, which have left an indelible imprint on the world. This influence has permeated every facet of our existence, from our grasp of the afterlife and soul to our artistic expressions and popular culture. Ancient Egyptians held a complex set of beliefs about life, death, and what lies beyond. They perceived death not as an end, but as a transition to an eternal afterlife. This belief has had a profound influence on many religious and philosophical systems that followed. Concepts like the immortal soul, judgment after death, and the possibility of eternal life have roots in the ancient Egyptian understanding of existence. This fascination extends beyond philosophical and religious discourse. Ancient Egyptian beliefs have inspired countless works of art and literature, captivating audiences with their rich symbolism and mythology. The imagery of gods, pyramids, and hieroglyphs have become universally recognized symbols of mystery and ancient wisdom. Popular culture is not immune to the charm of ancient Egypt. Movies, books, and even video games often draw on the iconography and mythology of this ancient civilization. Just think of the Mummy, the Sphinx, or the Eye of Horus, all of which have become staples in horror and fantasy genres. The influence of ancient Egyptian beliefs is not confined to the past or the realm of fiction. Even today, many people find solace and wisdom in these ancient teachings, incorporating elements of this ancient wisdom into their spiritual practices. It's clear that ancient Egyptian beliefs keep resonating with us. In fact, they're alive and well, continuing to inspire, captivate, and influence us in countless ways. These ancient beliefs, steeped in mystery and wisdom, have transcended time and continue to shape our understanding of life, death, and the cosmos. From the pyramids to the Book of the Dead, the beliefs of the ancient Egyptians continue to shape our understanding of this remarkable civilization. Have you ever wondered how a civilization thrived in the middle of a desert? It may seem a mystery, but the answer lies in the life-giving waters of the Nile River. This mighty river, flowing through the harsh, arid landscapes, was the lifeline for ancient Egypt, the cradle of its civilization. The Nile was more than just a water source, it was the backbone of agriculture, the very lifeblood that nourished a civilization. The fertile plains that flanked its banks were the canvas on which the ancient Egyptians painted their story of survival and growth. Agriculture was the life force that sustained and propelled the development of ancient Egyptian society. It was the driving force behind their advancements, providing the sustenance that allowed for the creation of a civilization that would leave indelible marks on the sands of time. A river in the desert, the Nile was the beating heart of ancient Egypt. Imagine a time over 5,000 years ago when the first seeds of civilization were sown. A time when the majestic Nile, a ribbon of life, wound its way through the arid sands of Egypt. This was a time that marked the dawn of agriculture, a defining moment in human history. In the fertile land along the Nile, around the year 5000 BC, the early Egyptians embarked on a remarkable journey. They began to harness the bountiful gifts of the earth, cultivating crops and ushering in a new era of abundance. It was here, in the cradle of the Nile, that humans first learned to coax life from the soil. The Nile played a pivotal role in this agricultural revolution. Each year, like clockwork, it would overflow its banks, drenching the surrounding lands in a rich, silty loam. This annual flooding, or inundation, was a time of celebration. It signaled the start of a new farming cycle, transforming the arid desert into a verdant oasis ripe for cultivation. The soil, enriched by the Nile's floodwaters, was a fertile haven for crops. The Egyptians planted a variety of grains, vegetables, and fruits. Barley and emmer wheat were staples essential for brewing beer and baking bread, the cornerstones of their diet. But agriculture in ancient Egypt was not just about survival. It was a way of life, a rhythm that dictated the ebb and flow of society. It was a partnership between man and nature, each dependent on the other. The Egyptians revered the Nile, understanding its vital role in their survival. They celebrated its bounty, marking each stage of the farming cycle with rituals and festivals. Thus, the ancient Egyptians laid the groundwork for a civilization that would flourish for thousands of years. They tamed the wild, bending the earth to their will, and in doing so they transformed the landscape of Egypt forever. Thus began the cycle of sowing and reaping, a dance with nature that would shape a civilization. This was the dawn of agriculture, a momentous period that forever changed the course of human history. With time, the ancient Egyptians did not merely farm, they innovated. This is a story of resilience and ingenuity, of a civilization that turned the challenges of their environment into a thriving agricultural society. In the beginning, they relied on the natural flooding of the Nile for irrigation, but as their society grew, so did their need for more efficient farming techniques. Enter the shaduf, a simple yet groundbreaking tool. The shaduf was a manually operated device consisting of a long pole balanced on a crossbeam, a rope and bucket on one end, and a heavy counterweight on the other. By leveraging gravity and human strength, it allowed farmers to draw water from the Nile and distribute it across their fields. This primitive irrigation tool marked a significant leap in agricultural productivity, but the Egyptians didn't stop there. They harnessed the power of animals to further enhance their farming techniques. Oxen and donkeys were domesticated and used for plowing and transporting goods, reducing the physical labor required from humans and increasing the area of land that could be cultivated. The ancient Egyptians also understood the importance of maintaining the fertility of their soil. They developed the practice of crop rotation long before it was recognized by modern science. By varying the type of crops planted on a particular plot of land, they prevented the depletion of nutrients and kept their soil healthy and productive. This was an era when there were no chemical fertilizers or mechanized tractors. Yet, these early farmers managed to sustain and grow their civilization through a deep understanding of their environment and a willingness to innovate. Their farming techniques were not just about producing food. They were a testament to their understanding of the natural world and their ability to manipulate it for their benefit. The ancient Egyptians turned agriculture into a science, laying the groundwork for the advanced farming techniques we use today. Agriculture was not just survival, it was science. A river of life, the Nile was the backbone of Egypt's prosperity. This majestic river, winding its way through the arid desert landscape, was much more than just a water source. It was a life-giving force, the beating heart of an ancient civilization that flourished on its banks. Let's delve into how the Nile, through agriculture, transformed Egypt into a land of abundance. The river's annual flooding left behind nutrient-rich silt, creating fertile land ideal for farming. This allowed the ancient Egyptians to cultivate wheat, barley, flax, and papyrus, among other crops. With this agricultural bounty, they didn't just survive, they thrived. Food surplus was turned into a commodity, a valuable asset that led to trade with neighboring lands. This trade not only brought wealth, but also ideas, innovations, and a cultural exchange that enriched Egyptian society. The prosperity didn't end there. The food surplus also enabled population growth. More people meant more hands to work the fields, more minds to innovate, and more hearts to shape the culture. As the population burgeoned, settlements expanded, eventually evolving into thriving cities. These cities, dotting the Nile's banks, became the epicenters of political power and cultural life. Yet the Nile's role was not limited to agriculture and urbanization alone. It served as Egypt's main transportation and communication route. Imagine this, boats laden with goods sailing up and down the river, traders haggling, messages being transmitted, and news spreading. The Nile was the ancient equivalent of a bustling highway connecting different parts of the kingdom and facilitating trade and communication. It was the thread that wove together the fabric of Egyptian civilization. So when we talk about the Nile, we're not just talking about a river, we're talking about a powerful force that shaped a civilization, a lifeline that sustained it, and a pathway that connected it. We're talking about a river so integral to Egypt's prosperity that it transcended its physical form to become an enduring symbol of life, abundance, and connectivity. The Nile was not just a river, it was the artery of commerce and communication. The Nile, ever-flowing, shaped not just the land but the very soul of Egypt. This river, with its seasonal ebbs and flows, was more than a source of water or a means of transport. It was a life-giving deity, a divine entity that breathed life into the parched desert, giving birth to a civilization that would stand the test of time. The Nile's rhythmic flooding was the heartbeat of ancient Egypt. It was so pivotal that it led to the creation of one of the world's first solar calendars. The Egyptians divided their year into 3 seasons: Akhet, the inundation; Pere, the emergence; and Shemu, the harvest. Each season was defined by the river's cycle, underscoring the profound influence the Nile had on the structure of Egyptian life. Agriculture, nourished by the Nile, was the foundation of ancient Egypt's economy, and it seeped into their mythology as well. The river and its fertile plains were personified in Hapi, the god of the annual floods. He was revered as the nourisher of the lands and the spirit of fertility. His depictions often show him bringing offerings of food and abundance, symbolizing the prosperity that the Nile brought to the Egyptian people. The Nile's influence extended into the realm of art too. The lush riverbanks, the vibrant wildlife, the bustling agricultural scenes, these were the themes that dominated Egyptian art. The hieroglyphs and frescoes are filled with depictions of the Nile and its bounties. The river was the backdrop against which the story of ancient Egypt unfolded, and this is vividly captured in their art. In the end, the Nile was not just a river for the ancient Egyptians. It was a divine entity, a life giver, a calendar maker, a muse for their art, and a cornerstone of their economy. It was the thread that wove together the fabric of their culture and religion. The Nile, in its might and mystery, flowed into the heart of Egypt's culture and belief. The ancient Egyptians may have faded into history, but the Nile continues to flow. The river, with its rhythmic cycles of flooding, gave birth to one of the world's earliest and most successful experiments in agriculture. The Egyptians harnessed the Nile, evolving farming techniques that turned a harsh desert into a land of abundance. This abundance, in turn, fueled the prosperity of ancient Egypt, allowing the civilization to flourish and create marvels of art, architecture, and culture that continue to astound us today. The Nile was more than a river. It was a life source, a deity, a vital thread woven into the fabric of Egyptian society. The legacy of the Nile lives on. The techniques developed by the ancient Egyptians continue to influence modern farming, and the river itself remains a lifeline for millions. The story of the Nile and agriculture is the story of Egypt, a testament to human resilience and ingenuity. Have you ever wondered why the grandeur of ancient Egypt, a civilization that stood the test of time, eventually faded into oblivion? An intriguing question indeed. For over 3,000 years, the mighty pharaohs of Egypt reigned supreme, their authority unquestioned, their civilization a beacon of advancement in a world yet awakening to the possibilities of human potential. Yet as we sift through the sands of time, we find that even this grand civilization was not immune to the winds of change. The enigma of the Egyptian decline is a tale of power, pride, and the inevitable passage of time. It's a story of a civilization that, at its zenith, commanded awe and respect, but eventually fell into a slow and complex decline. Imagine standing at the precipice of the Great Pyramids, looking out over the expansive desert, knowing that the civilization that created these wonders is slowly losing its grip on power. The mighty Nile continues to flow, but the hands that once harnessed its power are growing weak. The pharaohs, once revered as gods, are losing their divine authority as internal strife and external threats gnaw at the foundations of their rule. The decline of ancient Egypt didn't happen overnight. It was a protracted process, a gradual erosion rather than a sudden collapse. It was marked by political instability, social upheaval, economic challenges, and religious discord. The pharaohs, in their desperation to maintain their fading power, made decisions that further deepened the crisis. The once invincible civilization was slowly crumbling from within, setting the stage for foreign invaders to seize control. This is not just a story of decline, but also of transformation and adaptation. For even as the native rule of the pharaohs waned, the resilient people of Egypt found ways to survive and preserve their unique culture under foreign rule. This period of decline and foreign domination, though challenging, was also a time of remarkable cultural synthesis and innovation. Together, we will unravel the series of events that led to the decline and foreign rule of this magnificent civilization. The decline of ancient Egypt was not an overnight event. It was a gradual process that spanned centuries. Imagine a vast kingdom once brimming with wealth and power, now teetering on the verge of collapse. This was ancient Egypt during its period of decline. But what led to this fall from grace? The answer lies in a tangled web of internal and external factors. Internally, ancient Egypt was plagued by strife and instability. Disputes among the ruling elite, coupled with an increasingly ineffective bureaucracy, created a climate of tension and uncertainty. Power struggles were rampant, as pharaohs vied for control, often leading to weak and ineffective leadership. The once revered pharaohs, seen as living gods, were now viewed with skepticism and, in some cases, outright disdain. Economically, ancient Egypt was also in a state of flux. The wealth that once filled their coffers was depleting. Mismanagement of resources, coupled with a series of failed harvests, led to economic instability. The Nile, once the lifeblood of Egypt, was no longer a reliable source of sustenance. Famine and poverty became widespread, adding to the growing discontent among the populace. Externally, the kingdom was under threat from foreign forces. Invasions from the Assyrians, Persians, and later the Greeks added to Egypt's woes. These foreign powers, with their advanced military tactics, proved too formidable for Egypt's weakened defenses. But it wasn't just military invasions that impacted Egypt. Foreign influence also played a role in its decline. Interactions with other cultures led to a dilution of Egyptian traditions and beliefs. The once distinct Egyptian identity was slowly being eroded, replaced by a hybrid culture that was neither fully Egyptian nor foreign. So the once vibrant and powerful Egypt was now a land of turmoil and uncertainty. The internal strife, economic instability, weak pharaohs, invasions and foreign influence all contributed to its decline. It was a slow and gradual process, taking centuries to fully unfold. The once mighty Egypt was slowly crumbling from within, paving the way for foreign dominance. As Egypt weakened, foreign powers found an opportunity to exert their influence. So began a new chapter in the history of this ancient civilization. The land of the pharaohs, previously an epicenter of power, wealth, and culture, now found itself a target for foreign ambitions. First, it was the Libyans who made their way across the western desert. Their arrival was not a sudden invasion, but a gradual migration as they integrated into the Egyptian society, even adopting the Egyptian culture and religion. Yet their influence was undeniable, and they eventually claimed the throne, marking the start of the Libyan period in Egypt's history. Next, we saw the Nubians, who came from the south. Known for their fierce warriors and their rich gold mines, the Nubians had always been a formidable neighbor. But as Egypt weakened, the balance of power shifted. The Nubians, under the leadership of King Paya, conquered Egypt, establishing the 25th dynasty and marking the first time that Egypt was ruled by kings from the south. Following the Nubians, the Assyrians from the east set their sights on Egypt. They were a military powerhouse known for their brutal tactics and advanced technology. The Assyrians invaded Egypt, establishing their rule and leaving a lasting impact on the Egyptian society and culture. Finally, the Persians arrived. They were an empire on the rise, expanding their territories across Asia and Europe. The Persians conquered Egypt with relative ease, taking advantage of the internal chaos and weakened state of the country. Their rule was marked by a period of oppression and heavy taxes, further destabilizing the once mighty nation of Egypt. Each of these foreign powers left their mark on Egypt, shaping its history and culture in unique ways. Yet their rule also contributed to the further decline of Egypt, a nation that was once the epitome of grandeur and power. Egypt, once the ruler, was now being ruled. The arrival of these foreign powers marked a significant shift in Egypt's history, signaling the end of its era of dominance and the beginning of its period under foreign rule. Egypt, the land of the pharaohs, was now under the control of the Persians. Picture a time when the towering pyramids and majestic sphinx were overseen not by Egyptian pharaohs, but Persian satraps. The ancient Nile civilization, with its centuries-old traditions and rituals, was under the control of Persia, a power from the east with its own customs and way of life. The Persian conquest of Egypt marked a significant shift in the region's power dynamics. Cambyses II, the Persian king, brought with him a fresh set of customs and traditions that were far removed from the Egyptian way of life. This was not merely a change of rulers, but a change in the very fabric of Egyptian society. The Persians were not naive. They knew that the key to ruling Egypt was to win over its people. And so they tried to incorporate their traditions into Egyptian society. They respected Egyptian religion and even adopted some of their deities. Persian kings were often portrayed in the style of Egyptian pharaohs, complete with the traditional uraeus, a symbol of sovereignty, royalty and divine authority in ancient Egypt. But change, especially one so drastic, is seldom met without resistance. The Egyptians, proud of their rich cultural heritage, were not ones to sit by idly as foreign rulers tried to reshape their identity. There were revolts, uprisings, attempts to overthrow the Persian rule and restore the Egyptian pharaohs to their rightful place. However, it wasn't just the resistance that troubled the Persian rule. The monumental task of governing such a diverse and populous region, coupled with the constant tension between the Persian customs and the deeply ingrained Egyptian traditions, led to instability and unrest. But let's not forget, Egypt was not just any land. It was the land of the pharaohs, the land of the Sphinx and the pyramids, a land with a history and a spirit that were indomitable. The Persian rule, though significant, was a mere chapter in the grand saga of Egypt's history. Despite the Persian rule, the spirit of Egypt was far from broken. The resilience of the Egyptian people, their fierce love for their land and culture, ensured that the flame of Egypt's spirit continued to burn bright even under the shadow of the Persian rule. The foreign rule left an indelible mark on Egypt's history and culture. The impact of foreign dominance on ancient Egypt was profound, shaping the nation's trajectory in ways both tangible and intangible. The economy, for instance, underwent significant changes. The conquerors introduced new systems of taxation, trade, and agriculture. The infusion of foreign techniques and resources led to a blend of innovation and tradition, resulting in a more diversified and resilient economy. Yet it was in the realm of culture and society where the effects of foreign rule were most vividly felt. The conquerors brought their own customs, languages, and beliefs which intermingled with the existing Egyptian ways of life. This cultural amalgamation yielded a rich tapestry of art, literature, and religion that was uniquely Egyptian, yet bore the unmistakable imprints of foreign influence. The Greek Ptolemaic dynasty, for instance, left a lasting legacy in the field of science and mathematics, with scholars like Euclid and Ptolemy making Alexandria their home. The Roman rule, on the other hand, brought architectural marvels and legal systems that were later adopted by the Egyptians. Despite these influences, the Egyptians managed to retain their identity. They clung tenaciously to their ancient traditions, language, and beliefs. Even under the yoke of foreign rule, they continued to worship their gods, write in hieroglyphs, and practice their time-honored customs. This resilience, this ability to absorb foreign influences while remaining distinctly Egyptian, is a testament to the enduring strength of their civilization. Foreign rule, while a period of subjugation, was also a time of cultural exchange and evolution. It marked a chapter in Egypt's history that was fraught with challenges, yet rich with opportunities for growth and transformation. The story of Egypt's decline and foreign rule is a testament to the resilience and endurance of this ancient civilization. As the sun sets on the Nile, we close this chapter on ancient Egypt. Keep exploring, for history is a treasure trove of stories untold. Until next time, fare thee well.